Hello friends, and welcome back to another tutorial. Before we get straight into today's tutorial, I'd like to show you all everything that you'll need to recreate this style of beading. What I have here is what we call broken glass bead in color black. For the video that we are working with as inspiration, we saw that we had black beads and golden beads. Please take note that your choice of bead in terms of the color and the type of bead all depends on the end results that you're going for. So because I'm working with that video that we saw at the intro, I'm using the exact same type of bead that was used in recreating that design, which is this broken glass bead. I have a tutorial sharing different types of bead. If you're new here and you don't really know a lot of things about beads, I will link a very useful video for you on the show notes. Feel free to click on it and go check out that tutorial. I also have broken glass beads in gold here, so I'm doing a mixture of black and gold. Feel free to choose whatever color that you want for yourself. Another type of bead that was used in that video is what we call crystal beads. I'm yet to get bowls for my beads. I told you guys in a previous video that I brought in my beads, so yeah, out here in Canada I have all my stuff with me, and what we have here is what we call crystal beads. This is the size 4 crystal beads. Beads also come in different sizes. Remember the video that I talked about earlier? If you're new, again, go check it out so you know how to determine the sizes of beads. What we have here is size 4 crystal beads. I also have my teardrop crystal beads right here, also in color black, and size 6 crystal beads. That's what we have here. Something else I would also be telling us about is Swarovski stones. I have them in a nylon. Let me just bring it out for those that like to see everything. I have my Swarovski stones in black. This particular style, I mean, is called Swarovski. We also have the regular plastic rhinestone. I like Swarovski stones because they sparkle and shine, and it just gives a more luxurious look to your design. Something else I'll be working with are my threads. I have my fishing line here in 0.30. For those that go way back, you know that my favorite size for fishing line is 0.25 millimeters, but I'm still in the middle of trying to arrange my stuff because they all came wrapped. I don't know why I can't find my 0.25 fishing line, even though I know I shipped some of that from Nigeria. I'm just here to find it, but for the sake of illustration, this is the 0.30 millimeters fishing line. It's also good, but I just find that it's just a bit too bulky for my liking, so I hardly ever go for it. But yeah, instead of 0.30 that you see right here, when you buy the 0.25 millimeters, you would see 0.25 written somewhere down here. So when making your purchase, make sure that you are looking so you don't make the wrong choice when buying your fishing line. I also have my regular thread right here in color black. For the sake of today's illustration, because it's an educative video, I have my embroidery hoop or tambour hoop, depending on what you choose to call it, and I have my illusion net installed in here just to help us learn how to sew both on illusion net as well as fabric. For the fabric aspect of today's tutorial, I have my felt reinforced here just to help us with the illustration of what we'll be designing today. I think I'm going to change the color because I'm using dark colored beads, and for us to see what I'm doing clearly, this color of felt might not really work. I think I'm going to go for this color. So I have a different color right here. The black beads will pop more on this, so it will help us basically understand everything that I'll be sharing. I hope we all found today's video very valuable. As usual, to show me your support, I would like you guys to please like the video, share with your friends that are interested in stuff like this. Feel free to ask questions in the comment section. Let's get started. Alright guys, so something that we need to take note of is the fact that before creating any style of beading on your design, on your outfit, whatever it is that you're trying to bead, it's very important to draw out your outline. This just helps with neatness. So if you want your work to turn out very neat and put together, make sure that you illustrate. When I say illustrate, just draw out the lines that you're trying to follow. We see that Vicky created kind of like an ombre style beading on that outfit that she wore at the beginning of today's video. So I'm just going to create lines on this piece of illusion net just to help us come up with our design. I'm not going to do it verbatim. Again, this is an educative video for people that like to just police and be like, oh, this is not what we saw. This is not the place for that, okay? I'm just going to draw out some illustration here on this piece of illusion net. And for tightly packed beading, you need to make sure that the lines are very close to each other, okay? Just to make sure that by the time you are beading, it's tightly packed together. You see that outfit that we saw at the intro, it was heavily beaded. except what you're going for is just a sparsely beaded outfit, then you can do whatever you like, right? But if you want it to be heavily beaded, make sure that your illustration are close together. I hope we can see what I've drawn here. And what we have here is a fabric pencil, by the way. For those that are new here, I got this off of AliExpress. I see that this is very popular with fashion designers all around the world, Nigeria, outside Nigeria, and the rest. You can get this easily online or in the market. If you have a local market where you buy your sewing accessories from, this is something you should be able to find. But I personally got mine from AliExpress. For those in Nigeria and some other West African countries where they have restrictions with their local payment cards, I explained in a different video how I make my purchases online from Nigeria with AliExpress. Okay, so for those that are located in Nigeria that might be watching this, feel free to check out that video. I'll do my best to leave it on the show notes. So I'm just using this fabric pencil to just draw out my illustration right here. Forgive me if my line is not neat. It's just because I'm teaching and I can't just put this down the way I would like to put it. So draw out the illustration or the shape. If you want straight lines, if you want curved lines, if you want zigzag lines, just draw out those types of lines on the fabric you're trying to bead. It will just help you. It will make your life easy, basically, when working. It won't stress you out. So now that I have these 4 lines right here, I'm going to go ahead to bead on the lines that I've drawn. And because we are creating ombre styled beading, I'm going to show us how I'm going to achieve that ombre style on this fabric. So what I'm going to do now is to grab my needle and thread. While showing us the items required, I forgot to show us my beading needle. There's something called beading needles. For newbies, beading needle is different from your regular hand needle, okay? This bead is specifically for beading and it comes in different sizes. I've done a whole video about this. I'll link it on the show notes again. Feel free to scroll to the end of the description bar just to see very important videos that will help those that are new in this line of work. Basically, this is the size 11 beading needle. I love size 11. It's a perfect size in my opinion for beading. And I've already gone ahead to thread my needle right here. I used a regular polyester thread. Okay, for those that don't know what polyester thread is your regular thread, the typical thread that you use for your hand sewing and sewing machine type of sewing. This is what it looks like, but I have it in a different color threaded here. So now we'll start with the illustrations that we've done on our illusion net. For this portion, I won't be doing too much talking. Please feel free to watch this video repeatedly until the knowledge I'm trying to pass across sticks. I will start off with the black one and then show us how I introduce this golden one just to give us the ombre effect that we're trying to achieve in today's tutorial. If you have questions, again, please don't hesitate to drop your questions in the comment section. If you want your ombre to be zigzag, make sure that, I don't know if it all depends on how we like to do stuff, right? For the sake of today's video, I'm just going to make illustrations here. We see that I used blue marker to make the illustration from the start. For where I want my ombre effects to start to kick in, I will use this white to just overlap under my blue, just to help me know, okay, this is where the golden bead should be, this is where the black one should be. And if I even want to incorporate other colors, it will basically guide me. So over the place where I want the golden beads now, just to create the ombre effect in the long run, I will use this my white marker to just mark those areas. This is especially if you are not the one beading your cloth. If you have professional beaders in your business and you want them to basically be able to replicate what you have in your mind for you, that's where this your fabric pencil. I bought my own in a set of 6 different colors just to help you with marking. If it's that you're going to get the color of pencil that will match the bead, just to help your beaders know what to do per se. But because I'm the one teaching, right, I'm going to use this white to just mark, okay, this place is where the white markings are, that's where the gold should be, and then the place with the blue marked on the fabric, that's where the black beads will be. So I'm just going to do something. So I have marked my white up to this level for this first next line, then I extended it upwards a little more on the next line. I'm even going to either maybe go up again in the next line just to help me, and then maybe this other line here, I want it to be entirely black, and then for the next one again, maybe the white will be lower again. All of these are just my own thoughts, right? Feel free to do whatever you like ultimately. This video is just supposed to be an inspiration just to help you going forward with your own designs. So now that I've done the white and blue illustrations on my net, when I'm beading now, we see that I've done a straight beading on the line that I marked here. I'm going to repeat this same way that I beaded this one. I'll repeat it on the other lines, following the illustrations, the colors of the marker that I've used on my fabric. Where I see white, I'll use the gold bead on it. Wherever I see blue on my marking, I'll use black, and then we'll see the end result. For this portion, I'm going to keep quiet. Please make sure that you pay attention so you see the end result and we are able to just, you know, create this magic together. Alright guys, so this is how far I've gone. Can we see what we've done so far? I've done about 6 or 7 lines, I'm not quite sure now. But the reason why I'm even here to emphasize for us is we see how the gradients, or I don't know if gradient is the right word, but we see how the golden ombre thing is forming. Something else you can do is as you're going along, you can match the line that you're working on, right? This is the line I'm working on currently, to what you've done previously. So at this point now, if you like, you can decide that, okay, I like where the black has reached here. Let me start adding gold to my thread just to create a gradient effect. I have my phone right here, and I'm also going to put up what I have on my phone. I'll just put my phone up here for you guys. Can we see how the gradient effect on this dress that Vicky is wearing looks compared to what I'm doing right here? So depending on how you want the gradient effects to be created on your design, just be the one eyeballing it and determining how you want the gradients to look to turn out, right? It's all up to you. There's no limit to what you can do with beads. Like, that's why I love this craft so much. There's so much beauty in it if you can just do it the right way. I love how neat the end result of this particular gradient effect with the orange beads and the black beads, how it turned out on the dress, and that's what I'm trying to recreate here. So as opposed to drawing those lines with your fabric pencil, if you're just someone that just doesn't have time for all those marking, which I highly recommend, okay, beading requires patience, so you need to be patient to come up with something beautiful. But just in case for whatever reason you're not able to mark those things, just match what you're working with to each other, okay? If at this point you decide, okay, let me add gold here, you can do that. If you want, okay, at this point I want it to be all black, and then incorporate gold or whatever color you decide to the next line, it's up to you, right? But for me, I think I'm happy with where this black is stopping now. Now that I've matched it to what I have right beside, I'll now start to pick my gold beads, okay? And then follow along with what I've done previously. Can we see what we have here now? This is the line I'm working with. You just match it along, and wherever the bead stops, you stick your needle into that point. I've done a whole tutorial on how to bead on a straight line. If you want an updated tutorial, comment updated in the comment section so I can go ahead to create that video for you. But I'm coming backwards, inserting my needle again into the beads that I have, and then moving forward again, and then pick up more golden beads. I tried my best to make this as explanatory or self-explanatory as possible, so I hope we all get the gist. I'm just going to go ahead now and just bead a couple more lines and show us what the end result looks like. Alright friends, so this is the end result of that beading. By the time you are beading on your outfit, you just make sure that this entire style of beading fills up your outfit and creates the pattern that you want. You see how we have the gradients of the gold entering into the black and coming down, going up, going upwards again. It all depends on you and what you're going for. I hope this makes sense for us, and I hope we are happy with this. We are now going to quickly move on to the other beading patterns that we have going on that outfit. And for the sake of that portion of the tutorial, I'm going to be using my felt fabric. On this other one, I used the illusion net, and we see what the end result looks like. Now for the other clustered beading that we have going on the bust point, I'm going to do that beading on this piece of felt material. And I'm going to be using my teardrop beads just to recreate what we have going on that fabric, right? And to help us, I'm going to use this teardrop crystal bead on this piece of fabric. I'm not going to be talking, or I might be talking, I really don't know. I'm also trying to keep my voice down so I don't wake my baby. Just forgive me. However the video goes, I'm going to make sure it's as easy to assimilate as possible. If you have questions again, don't hesitate to drop it in the comment section. Alright friends, so for this portion, for the beading on that structured sleeve or structured design on the sleeve, I just want to pause and just like talk to us. As a fashion designer, you know the style that you're going for. So if you want to create a structured sleeve just like what we have on the screen right now, you would have cut out your pattern, already created the structured design that you have. I'm just using this piece of pattern that I have here with my little piece of sugar paper that I've cut out. I talked about this sugar paper back when I was still in Nigeria in a previous video. I'll do my best to link that video on the screen. Or if you're new here and everything I'm saying or some of the things I'm saying sounds new, I would recommend that you binge watch the videos under my beading tutorial playlist. It's a very valuable playlist on the channel that you will just learn a whole lot. After you've cut out your structured design, I'm just going to cut that out really quickly on this piece of fabric that I have here. So let's just imagine that this is what we have. After you have placed this on the sleeve area that you want, you're now going to bead along the edges of this piece of fabric. From what we have on the screen here, I see that what Vicky used was like a size 4 crystal bead. She did the beading all around the edges of that structured design on that her sleeve. So I'm just going to grab my needle and thread as usual, and also grab my size 4 beads and start to bead around the edges of this piece of fabric. So I'm just going to take in, you can take one, maybe I'll take 2 and then start to take 1 just to avoid wastage, right? Because these beads, they are not cheap, okay? So I'm going to take 2 now. Depending on how large the design that you have on your sleeve is, it will determine the number of beads to take. Because this is just for education purpose, I'm just going to take 2 per time and then pass my needle and thread through. Okay, so this is what we have here, and I'll just be going like that till I get what I'm looking for. I've done something similar to this style of beading. It's similar to the neckline beading that I did, I think last year, sometime last year or 2 years ago. I'll link that tutorial as well. Go and watch that video if you want to learn how to create this type of beading along the edges of fabric. So you see what we have here. I'll just keep going like that till I achieve my desired outcome. For now, I'm still taking 2 pieces of crystal beads, but as we go along, I'm going to reduce it to 1. So you see, pick up 2, come back out here, and then come back in here again. Pick up your beads again, and then stick it in here. Can we see what we have here? So I'm just going to repeat this all around the edges of this piece of fabric just to avoid wastage again. So let me just show you how I'll go about it with the 1. So I picked just 1 single crystal bead, as you can see here, and then come back out here again. With the single beads, it's very easy and it moves very fast. Even with the double, it's not like the double is difficult either. Just 1 bead, pass your needle, come back out again, pick up your bead again, and then repeat the process all the way through. Can we see? So we have the double beads over here and the single beads out here. Okay, so I'm just going to do that really quickly all around this and come back to show us. Alright friends, so I'm done doing the beading along the edge of this design that we have here. So we can see what we have here in comparison to the actual thing that was done by the original designer. That is very similar. So depending on how exaggerated the structured design that you have on your own outfit, or whatever outfit that it is that you're trying to embellish, determine how many beads you want to use along the edges of the fabric. For you, you can decide that you want to do double, just like I did over here, or you want to do single beads just along the edge of the structured design that you have going on your outfit. Alright, so for this portion of the tutorial, I'll be using this little piece of fabric. I'm just going to start off really quickly. All I'm doing is I'm just passing my needle through the fabric like so, and then I'm going to pick my beads. Depending on which side I want to face up, I can decide if I want this pointy part to face up. So this is how the teardrop bead is shaped. Okay, it's not a perfect round shape, it's kind of, yeah, like teardrops basically. So I can decide if I want my stone or my beads to sit up like this on my fabric when I do it, or if I want the pointy side to be facing up. It's up to you to determine how you want it to look. For me, I think I want it to face up like so. So I'm just going to pass it like this and then pick up 1 little bead. For the sake of this portion, I'm using the little size 4 crystal bead, just like so. I'll pass it through my fabric. I'll pass it through my needle and thread like this. And then please take note of what I'm doing. I'm just going to hold like this and then pass my needle into the bead at the bottom like so, and then stick it into the fabric like this. For those that will ask me, oh, How do I go about beading this? Please, after you have sewn your dress, whatever it is you are trying to design, place the outfit on a body form and do your beading. When you watch videos of designers showing how they are going about the beading of designs that they create, we see that they are wearing the plain outfit on a mannequin before going ahead to start the beading. So can we see what this looks like on this piece of fabric? This is how you want your clustered beading to just stand. I'll do it again just to show us a couple more times. So depending on how tightly packed you want the beading to look, you come very close again to the last one that you did, like so. Pass your needle through. All right, pick one teardrop bead and stick your needle and thread into it. Pick up one little bead like so, and then push that down as well. Then stick your needle and thread into the teardrop bead or the larger bead at the bottom, and then just stick it into the fabric like so. Alright guys, so this is what I have here. So you want to create something like this all around either the bust or shoulder pads or wherever you want this kind of cluster beading to be on your design. I hope we all understood how this entire process went. You use one large bead and one little bead just to seal up the tip of the bead, okay? The choice of bead is up to you. You can use pearls and maybe crystal beads, or pearls and broken glass beads, or you can just follow exactly what you have here, right? You can use a teardrop crystal bead and a little crystal bead at the tip just to seal up the entire look. I'm going to bring it closer just for us to see. Look how beautiful this is. I'm going to also put the portion of the dress that was made so you see the comparison. You can compare both sides to each other. So now moving on really quickly, we're going to move to the dangling chain beading pattern that was done along the sleeves as well. Also, I should mention in this point that I noticed that there was a particular earring that was made. I'm going to put the video portion of that earring on the screen. If you'd like us to recreate that, or earpiece, now I don't think it's an earring per se, it was just on one ear. If you want us to recreate that earpiece on the screen, I'm going to leave the comment for today for that on the screen. Comment earpiece. If we get up to 1,000 likes on this video, I would go ahead to recreate that. So I'm going to be looking out. Let's get this video to 1,000 likes. Share this video with your friends. Push it as far as you can, just so we get up to 1,000 likes on the video, and then I'll go ahead to recreate the tutorial on that earpiece for us. So this is what we have here. I'm just going to move on to the dangling chain beading pattern very quickly. All right, friends. So for this particular style of beading, you're going to need 3 different types of beads. And this is just because I'm working based off of what I have going on my screen with the inspiration that we are working with. I have my broken glass bead right here in color black. I also have my crystal beads in size 4 over here, as well as my teardrop crystal beads. The choice of bead, again, like I would typically say, is up to you. You don't have to do everything verbatim. Feel free to tweak it however you please. You can switch out this broken glass bead with seed beads, and maybe switch out this one with pearls and this one with maybe, I don't know, crystal beads or broken glass beads. It's up to you. There's no limit to what you can do. So without talking too much, you're just going to pick up one single broken glass bead like so. This is what one single one looks like. And then making sure that you've already created a knot with your thread, okay, depending on whatever thread you're using. If you're using fishing line or regular polyester thread like I'm doing, and then you pass your needle through that knot like so, okay, and then you pull your thread through that knot with your single bead at the tip. Can you see? Okay, now it's time to start picking up your beads. I'm going to start off by picking a couple of these. I'm not counting, okay? Oh, guys, I've made a mistake. Because when we look at what we have on the screen, we have the teardrop bead at the very end. So instead of putting all those beads that I put in at first, I'll put this one first. Okay, and then we'll go back to the start again. This is my bowl or my plastic. It's too deep, so picking up the bead is a bit strenuous. So when beading, I'll advise that you use a shallow bowl. Just pour your beads into a shallow bowl so that picking up your beads will be very seamless for you. So now that I have this much for my broken glass beads, I'm just going to quickly put 2 crystal beads into this. Okay, and so what we have already, we already have a chain forming, and then I'll pick up more crystal beads. So this is what we have right here. Now that I'm happy with the length that I have, just for the sake of today's tutorial, I'm just going to stick this into my piece of fabric. And as usual, because you want the dangling chain to be very loose, you won't pull too tight so it will not be too stiff. Loosen it up a little bit and then come to the inner part of your work and create a knot. Can we see what we have here? So this is a combo that we did. So you just replicate this all over the portion of your outfit that you want it to be in. Let me zoom out a little bit for us. You replicate this all over the portion of your outfit that you want it to be. I wish I had time. I would have done one more, but if you just maybe are confused, feel free to watch this portion of the video repeatedly until you understand. Remember, you create a knot on your thread, pass one single tiny bead through the knot, and then start to insert the types of bead that you want, starting with the bulkiest bead at the base, and then you incorporate some little beads and do however you like, mix up the beads however you like and create something fabulous. So this is it, friends. We've done a couple different beading patterns in today's tutorial. I'm going to start off with the first one. We did this particular one which was done on the bodice from the shoulder area all the way to the waist area of this outfit. We have this style of beading going on. I hope we all understood. If we have questions, feel free to put it down in the comment section. Also, we also created this gorgeous cluster beading pattern that was done on the bust point of this particular outfit. We see how gorgeous this is. We also went ahead to create the straight beading done along the edge of the structured design that we have going on the sleeve, on one sleeve of this particular outfit. Absolutely stunning. And we also have the dangling chain beading that was done at the base of one of the sleeves of this outfit. We see how gorgeous everything looks. Incorporating all of these techniques with beading is going to create something fabulous with your embellishments. As usual, if you enjoyed today's tutorial, please feel free to give me a big fat thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Remember, if you'd like me to create the earpiece in this particular tutorial, which was worn by Vicky James, make sure to like this video. Once we hit 1000 likes on this tutorial, I'll go ahead to create that video for you guys if it's something you are interested in. Please like, share, subscribe if you're yet to, and feel free to drop me your sweet comments. Alright guys, I can't wait to see you all in another awesome tutorial very soon. Bye bye.